Now, here's one more lesson we can learn. Remaining staunchly unintimidated will give a powerful witness to onlookers. Do you remember what the king said when they came out unharmed from that furnace? He said, "Praise be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, for there is no other God who is able to rescue like this one." And think about this. If Nebuchadnezzar and other Babylonian onlookers are resurrected as part of the unrighteous mentioned in Acts 24:15, this experience will give them a head start in the new world on taking a stand with Jehovah. And think about even the men who threw them into the furnace who died doing so. Now, if they're resurrected, they'll be told about what happened subsequent to their untimely death. And undoubtedly, that will be an impetus toward spiritual progress in the new world. Well, the same is true today. When we stand firm, unintimidated, we give a powerful witness. And there are many that are now in the truth as a result of such witness.
So what he's now doing is speculating about the resurrection of Nebuchadnezzar as one of the unrighteous in the paradise after Armageddon. Basically, in case you're unaware, the teaching is that everyone from history, good or bad, you could be Joseph Stalin, you could be Genghis Khan, you could be Osama bin Laden. Everyone from history who has ever lived, good or bad, who was never a Jehovah's Witness or never became a Jehovah's Witness right up to Armageddon, but they died before Armageddon struck, they will all re-emerge, including all of these Bible characters. This is the teaching that you have as a Jehovah's Witness. You don't think for a moment about how bloated Earth's population would be by such a torrent of historical characters coming back to life, both the ones that we know about and just ordinary people who didn't make it into the history books. But anyway, Stephen Lett is speculating about Nebuchadnezzar coming back and having a head start due to having watched Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego survive being in a fiery furnace. And then he goes one step further and talks about the attendants who threw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into the fiery furnace, who died as a result due to the heat of the furnace, and talks about essentially how faith strengthening it will be when they return. I mean, just imagine how that's going to work. So your last memory of being a human being is of being burned alive. That's the very last thing you can remember. Throwing people into a furnace and yourself being burned alive. And then the very next thing you remember, or the very next thing you're aware of, you're in this leafy paradise where there are pandas and watermelons and goodness knows what. Fruit tables and smoothies, you name it. And you're suddenly in this idyllic situation with these very recent memories of having burned to death. And Stephen Lett is here saying, well, once it's explained what happened subsequent to them dying, that will give them a head start. That will make it so much easier for them to become Jehovah's Witnesses, just the same as Osama bin Laden will have to become a Jehovah's Witness, or Genghis Khan, or Vlad the Impaler, or the Conquistadors, or any of these other horrendous, barbaric monsters from history. It's just going to give them a head start over everyone else, for them to remember how they were burned alive.